Every single day, we navigate a sea of decisions and social interactions, often without even realizing the invisible currents that guide our choices. But what if I told you that ancient Stoic wisdom and modern psychological techniques could be your compass and map in this ocean, empowering you to influence outcomes and foster genuine connections? Today, we're diving deep into the world of psychological strategies infused with Stoic principles that can help you master any situation, be it a challenging negotiation at work, a complex relationship dynamic, or simply your daily interactions. These time-tested tricks not only offer practical solutions, but also encourage a profound understanding of human behavior, aligning with the Stoic commitment to living a thoughtful and intentional life. So stay tuned as we explore these fascinating techniques that promise to transform the way you interact with the world around you, ensuring you walk away not just informed, but empowered. If you appreciate what we're doing here, sharing insights and strategies that can truly transform your everyday interactions, a simple and free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. And trust me, you won't want to skip any part of this video, as each trick builds on the last, creating a comprehensive toolkit for mastering your own life's narrative. Trick 1. The power of the name. Imagine you walk into a room and someone greets you by name with a warm smile. Instantly, you feel a sense of importance, that you are not just another face in the crowd, but someone memorable and valued. This isn't just pleasant, it's powerful. Using someone's name in conversation is like a verbal handshake, an affirmation of their identity, which can open doors to deeper communication and trust. It's about making a conscious effort to see the person in front of you as a unique individual, not merely as a means to an end, which is a core principle in Stoic teachings about ethical interactions. From a psychological perspective, when you address someone by their name, you engage with their fundamental identity. It's an acknowledgement that says, "I see you, I recognize you, and you matter to me." This can be especially impactful in a world where digital communication often dilutes personal connections. It's a tool that, when used genuinely, enhances our interactions and can make them more meaningful. For instance, in a negotiation or a team meeting, simply starting with, "I agree with your point, name," can affirm the other person's contribution, making them more open and cooperative. However, as with any powerful tool, the key lies in its authentic application. Stoicism teaches us not just about the act itself, but about the intent behind it. Using a name should not be a manipulative tactic, but a genuine expression of our respect for the person. It's about building a foundation of sincerity in our interactions that aligns with the Stoic value of living a virtuous life through honest and meaningful relationships. Trick 2. The smile. Think about the last time someone genuinely smiled at you. It wasn't just their lips that moved, their eyes sparkled, reflecting a true smile, what psychologists might call a Duchenne smile. This type of smile, involving the contraction of both the zygomatic major muscle, which raises the corners of the mouth, and the orbicularis oculi muscle, which crinkles the eyes, is universally recognized as a sign of genuine happiness and sincerity. Such a smile can disarm doubts, foster trust, and even boost our mood as well as the mood of the receiver. From a Stoic perspective, a genuine smile aligns with their philosophy of managing one's emotions and expressions in ways that contribute positively to one's environment. Marcus Aurelius might have argued that the act of smiling not only reflects our internal disposition, but also influences it. By choosing to smile genuinely, we cultivate an inner state of peace and contentment, which then radiates outwardly to influence those around us. Psychologically, smiling can indeed act as a subtle tool of influence. It has been shown to be contagious, Seeing a smile tends to make us smile in return, thereby creating a loop of positive interaction. This loop can ease social situations and make them more pleasant, facilitating communication and decreasing stress. In professional settings, a smile can break the ice and make you more approachable, signaling that you are open and cooperative, attributes that can encourage collaboration and foster a positive workplace atmosphere. However, the power of a genuine smile also comes with the responsibility to use it wisely and sincerely. Stoicism teaches us to avoid superficiality in our interactions. Therefore, the smile should not be used as a mask or a social tool manipulated to achieve personal gain without regard to its authenticity. Instead, it should be an expression of our genuine state or an effort to positively affect a situation for all involved. Trick 3. Mirroring. Stoics believe in living in accordance with nature, which includes acknowledging and respecting our inherently social nature. By mirroring someone subtly, we align ourselves more closely with their emotions and perspectives, facilitating a deeper communion. For instance, if someone leans forward while sharing a story, and you lean forward too, you're non-verbally communicating that you're engaged and interested. This simple act can make the conversation more meaningful for both parties involved. From a psychological standpoint, mirroring can significantly enhance communication effectiveness. When we reflect someone's gestures or tone, it can unconsciously signal to the other person that we share similarities, thus increasing feelings of trust and likability. This is not just useful in personal relationships, but is also invaluable in professional settings, such as negotiations or client meetings, where establishing rapport quickly can be crucial to success. However, it's important to approach mirroring with the right intention, keeping in line with Stoic principles. It should never be about manipulation. Instead, it's about fostering genuine connections. The Stoics taught that our actions should be guided by virtue and the common good, not by self-serving motives. Thus, when we mirror others, it should be with the goal of better understanding them and contributing positively to the interaction, not simply to sway them to our point of view. Furthermore, mirroring must be subtle and natural. Overdoing it can make you seem insincere or even creepy. It's about finding a balance where your actions feel both reflective and original. You might start by simply matching the pace at which the other person speaks or subtly mimicking their posture. These small actions can lead to a smoother, more synchronized interaction, which is perceived on a subconscious level as more genuine and engaging. Trick 4. The favor technique. This might seem counterintuitive at first glance, but it's rooted in a deep-seated psychological bias known as the Ben Franklin effect. Franklin himself once borrowed a rare book from a political adversary, and through this simple request, he transformed an enemy into a friend. It's a clear example of how asking for a favor can increase another person's positive feelings toward you as they justify their action, the favor, by assuming they must like the person they helped, you. In the context of Stoicism, this technique aligns with the philosophy's emphasis on mutual aid and cooperation among individuals. Stoics believe in living in accordance with virtue and often emphasize the importance of building supportive, harmonious relationships. When you ask for a favor, you're engaging in a subtle exchange that recognizes the other's capability and shows trust, key elements in any Stoic relationship. This approach fosters a sense of community and interdependence, where personal connections are strengthened by acts of assistance. Psychologically, when someone does us a favor, they unconsciously seek consistency in their behavior and attitudes. If they help us, their mind rationalizes that they must have a favorable opinion of us, thereby deepening the bond. It's important, however, to ensure that the favors are reasonable and don't lead to discomfort or a feeling of being imposed upon. The Stoic approach would advise that the request be both ethical and considerate, reflecting the balance between self-interest and the welfare of others. Moreover, this technique can enhance feelings of self-esteem in the helper. When we enable someone to help us, we affirm their value and capabilities, which can boost their confidence and sense of self-worth. From a Stoic viewpoint, helping others is a form of virtue practice, promoting a life of service and community involvement. Therefore, by soliciting small, manageable favors, we not only improve our interpersonal relationships, but also contribute positively to the development of others' character. Trick 5. The law of reciprocity. This is a profound psychological principle that taps into the very core of our social being. It's based on the idea that when someone does something nice for us, we naturally feel compelled to return the favor. This isn't just social etiquette. It's a deeply ingrained instinct that fosters mutual goodwill and reinforces social bonds. The Stoics believed in the importance of contributing positively to the community, and the law of reciprocity embodies this by promoting a give-and-take relationship that benefits all parties involved. For example, if a neighbor helps you by watching your home while you're away, you might feel inclined to offer some help in return, perhaps by taking care of their garden. This exchange not only strengthens your relationship, but also creates a supportive network, which is essential for a harmonious community. In everyday life, this law plays out in countless small exchanges that, while seemingly insignificant, are crucial to building trust and cooperation among people. When applied sincerely, it cultivates an environment where generosity circulates and mutual respect grows. This isn't about keeping score or expecting something in return, but about nurturing a culture of kindness and support. However, the Stoic view also warns us against manipulative or insincere applications of this principle. While it's natural to want to reciprocate kindness, Stoicism teaches us to be wary of actions driven by the expectation of a reward. We should aim to give freely, guided by the virtue of generosity, without attaching strings to our actions. By doing so, we make our relationships more genuine and our communities more robust. Trick 6. Scarcity. This is a compelling psychological principle, suggests that things become more desirable when they are seen as rare or in limited supply. It taps into a deep-seated fear of missing out, which can drive people to value and seek out these scarce resources more aggressively than if they were plentiful. Linking this concept to Stoicism provides an intriguing contrast. Stoics strive to remain indifferent to external circumstances and focus on internal virtues. They teach us to manage our desires and maintain a sense of contentment with what we have, rather than constantly seeking more. However, they also acknowledge the natural human response to scarcity, which can be harnessed in a positive way if aligned with Stoic virtues such as wisdom and temperance. Consider how scarcity is often used in marketing. A limited edition product or a special offer that expires soon can create a rush of excitement and urgency among consumers. This isn't just about manipulation. It's about understanding human psychology. In practice, the Stoic use of scarcity should not be about deprivation, but about highlighting the unique value of moments, experiences, or resources, encouraging a deeper appreciation and gratitude for them. For example, consider the fleeting nature of certain life experiences, the last time you might see a friend who is moving away, or the final performance of a beloved play. By recognizing the scarcity of these moments, we can engage with them more fully, with a greater sense of presence and appreciation. However, it's crucial to handle scarcity responsibly. Creating false scarcity or manipulating it to exploit others can lead to distrust and long-term damage to relationships. Stoicism teaches us that our actions should be guided by integrity and a commitment to the common good. Therefore, when we apply the principle of scarcity, it should be done transparently, ensuring that it fosters genuine value and connection rather than superficial urgency. Trick 7. Validating emotions. This is a powerful psychological trick, involves acknowledging and accepting another person's feelings without judgment. This practice doesn't just comfort or soothe, it helps build a foundation of trust and understanding between individuals. When we validate someone's emotions, we essentially communicate, "I see you, I hear you, and your feelings matter." This can significantly deepen connections, making interactions more meaningful and supportive. From a Stoic perspective, emotional validation ties closely with the practice of empathy and the virtue of wisdom. Stoics emphasize understanding and controlling one's own emotions through reason, but they also recognize the importance of being responsive and considerate towards the emotions of others. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I'm about to criticize?" This reflection encourages us to empathize rather than judge, promoting a more compassionate and rational response to the feelings of others. Emotional validation does not mean always agreeing with the other person or condoning their actions. Rather, it's about recognizing their emotional experience as real and valid for them. For instance, if someone is upset because they missed a job promotion, validating their emotion involves listening to their concerns and recognizing their disappointment, rather than simply dismissing their feelings or immediately offering solutions. This approach aligns with Stoic teachings that counsel us to meet people where they are, acknowledging their subjective experiences as part of the human condition. Moreover, validating emotions can help mitigate conflicts and enhance personal relationships. It allows people to feel safer expressing themselves and can lead to more open and honest dialogues. When someone feels truly heard and understood, they are more likely to engage in constructive communication and less likely to respond defensively. Trick 8. Curiosity. This isn't just about seeking new knowledge or information. It is a powerful psychological trigger that captivates the mind, stimulates engagement, and opens doors to a world of undiscovered wonders. When we stir curiosity, we tap into a fundamental aspect of human nature that craves to understand the unknown, explore the unexplored, and question the unquestioned. Stoics advocate for a curiosity that is directed towards understanding life and our roles within it, promoting a deeper contemplation of our existence and encouraging personal growth. They teach us to channel our curiosity not towards frivolous or external desires, but towards gaining wisdom and insight into how to live virtuously and in harmony with nature. Imagine the impact of harnessing curiosity in everyday interactions or educational environments. By posing a thought-provoking question or presenting a puzzle that challenges conventional thinking, we can engage others in a way that is both stimulating and enriching. This form of engagement doesn't just entertain, it invites active participation in the learning process, making the experience more memorable and impactful. For instance, a teacher might introduce a lesson on astronomy by asking, "What do you think it would be like to stand on another planet?" Such a question doesn't just convey information, it ignites the imagination and encourages students to think beyond the textbook. However, it's crucial to manage curiosity with Stoic discernment. Unrestrained curiosity can lead us astray or distract us from our ethical and philosophical pursuits. Therefore, the challenge lies in cultivating a balanced curiosity, one that propels us towards meaningful discoveries and personal growth rather than superficial or fleeting interests. Trick 9. The halo effect. This is a psychological phenomenon where a positive impression in one area leads us to make automatic positive assumptions in other areas. It's like when you meet someone who's well-dressed and well-spoken, and you instantly assume they're also smart, kind, and successful. This cognitive shortcut helps us navigate social interactions by quickly categorizing information, but it's not without its pitfalls. From a Stoic perspective, the halo effect can be both a tool and a test. Stoicism teaches us to seek virtue and practice good judgment, urging us to look beyond appearances and first impressions to see the true nature of things. Yet the philosophy also acknowledges the practicalities of human social behavior. Understanding the halo effect can help us better navigate these dynamics. When used wisely, the halo effect can enhance our interactions and relationships. For example, in a professional setting, presenting oneself confidently and positively can set the stage for successful collaborations and negotiations. People tend to respond more favorably to those who make a good first impression, which can open doors and create opportunities. However, Stoicism also cautions us about the dangers of superficial judgments. Marcus Aurelius advised reflecting on our impressions and ensuring they align with reality. He would likely counsel us to be mindful of the halo effect, reminding us that just because someone appears competent or likable in one aspect does not mean they are virtuous or capable in all. This awareness can help us avoid potential misjudgments that might lead to misguided decisions or relationships. Trick 10. Active listening. This isn't just about hearing the words that are spoken, it's about fully engaging with the speaker, understanding their message, and responding thoughtfully. It's a skill that transforms conversations and deepens relationships. When we practice active listening, we're not just waiting for our turn to speak. We're genuinely focused on the speaker, absorbing not only the words, but also the subtleties of tone, expression, and emotion that accompany them. Stoicism, with its emphasis on wisdom and virtue, values the art of listening as a means to understand the world more completely and to respond with appropriateness and sensitivity. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus famously said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This highlights the Stoic belief that true wisdom comes from observing and understanding rather than speaking. In the context of active listening, this philosophy teaches us to approach conversations with a focus on learning and empathy. By listening actively, we allow ourselves to comprehend fully the perspective of others, which in turn helps us respond more effectively and ethically. For example, in a conversation where someone is sharing difficulties they're facing, active listening involves recognizing their feelings, perhaps by nodding or offering brief verbal acknowledgements like, "I see," or "That sounds challenging." This not only communicates that you are paying attention, but also that you care about what's being shared, fostering a connection and trust that are essential for meaningful interactions. Moreover, active listening extends beyond personal benefit. It enhances our ability to contribute positively to discussions, offering insights or support that are truly relevant and helpful. This not only applies to personal relationships, but is also invaluable in professional environments where understanding and teamwork are crucial. For instance, during a team meeting, actively listening to your colleagues' ideas and concerns can help build a collaborative spirit and lead to more effective problem-solving. Trick 11. The law of contrast. This is a psychological principle that highlights how our perceptions are heavily influenced by comparisons. Essentially, this law suggests that when 2 things are presented sequentially, the differences between them are exaggerated in our minds. For example, a mildly warm cup of coffee feels even warmer if your hands are cold from being outside in winter. This phenomenon isn't just a curious trick of perception, it has real implications for how we communicate, persuade, and make decisions in everyday life. From a Stoic perspective, the law of contrast can be viewed through the lens of understanding and controlling our reactions to external events. Stoicism teaches that our judgments can be clouded by immediate comparisons, and that true wisdom involves seeing things in their broader context. This aligns with the practice of contrasting, not to manipulate perceptions, but to foster a clearer, more balanced understanding of reality. Imagine you are discussing salary expectations in a job interview. Mentioning a higher figure initially and then stating the actual offer makes the latter appear more reasonable by comparison. This technique is commonly used in negotiations and marketing to make certain options more appealing. The Stoic approach would caution us, however, to use this knowledge ethically. It encourages us not to deceive, but to help others make informed decisions by presenting information in a way that illuminates rather than manipulates. However, the Stoic philosophy would remind us to be mindful of how contrast shapes our own perceptions. For example, after experiencing hardship, even moderate improvements in our situation can feel like major triumphs. While this can provide comfort, Stoics would advise us to maintain a balanced view, appreciating the good without becoming complacent or overly satisfied with minor improvements. Trick 12. The power of touch. A simple touch can convey support, warmth, and solidarity, often speaking louder than words. This tactile communication can play a critical role in building and strengthening relationships, as it triggers the release of oxytocin, sometimes referred to as the love hormone, which enhances feelings of trust and bonding. From a Stoic perspective, the power of touch aligns with the philosophy's emphasis on mutual support and community. Stoics advocate for living in harmony with others, and physical touch can be a direct and meaningful way to express empathy, compassion, and mutual respect. However, they also caution against letting external expressions affect our inner equanimity. Thus, while Stoics recognize the value of touch, they would also advise us to use it judiciously, ensuring that our actions always reflect a balanced and thoughtful approach to interaction. In everyday life, the appropriate use of touch can enhance almost any relationship, from comforting a friend in distress to reinforcing a point in a professional discussion with a collegial pat on the back. In therapeutic settings, for instance, practitioners often use touch to provide reassurance to patients, helping to alleviate anxiety and build trust. Similarly, in educational environments, a teacher's encouraging pat on the shoulder can boost a student's confidence and foster a positive learning environment. However, the ethics of touch, a consideration deeply rooted in Stoic thought about propriety and respect for the individual, must always be front and center. It's important to be culturally sensitive and aware of personal boundaries, as what might be considered a comforting gesture in one culture could be seen as intrusive in another. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of others' comfort and autonomy, advocating for a touch that respects personal boundaries and contributes positively to interactions. Trick 13. The principle of authority. This principle isn't just about obedience, it's about the confidence and trust we place in those we deem knowledgeable or experienced. The principle of authority is a psychological mechanism that underpins much of human social organization, suggesting that people are more likely to follow advice or directives from someone who is perceived as an expert or authority figure. Stoics emphasize the importance of learning from those who have mastered themselves and the art of living well. However, they also advocate for a critical appraisal of authority, encouraging followers to question and understand the reasons behind an authority's credibility rather than blindly adhering to it. In everyday life, we encounter the principle of authority in various forms, from the doctor whose advice we heed in medical matters to the seasoned mentor we consult about career decisions. When authority is established through genuine expertise and ethical conduct, it can guide decisions, influence public opinion, and foster trust within a community. For instance, a respected educator in a community not only teaches, but also shapes the community's values and practices through their role as an authority figure. However, the Stoic approach to authority also teaches us the value of personal judgment and internal validation. While it's practical and often necessary to rely on external authorities, Stoicism encourages us to develop our own understanding and wisdom. This ensures that our acceptance of authority is not a surrender of judgment, but an informed decision. Trick 14. Consistency. This is a psychological principle that underscores the importance of aligning our actions with our beliefs and commitments over time. It's not just about being reliable, but also about living in a way that harmonizes our inner values with our external behaviors. This alignment fosters trust and respect from others and reinforces our own sense of self-integrity. In the context of Stoicism, consistency is profoundly valued as it reflects the practice of living according to reason and virtue. Stoics emphasize the importance of maintaining a consistent character regardless of external circumstances. For instance, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that being free from passions and maintaining a steady demeanor contributes to living a good life. This Stoic consistency isn't merely about sticking to routines, it's about consistently applying rational and ethical principles in all aspects of life. In everyday life, when we demonstrate consistency, we build a reputation for dependability. For example, if you consistently meet deadlines and deliver quality work, colleagues and clients learn that they can rely on you. This reliability can open professional doors and deepen personal relationships. Similarly, in personal habits, such as exercise or meditation, consistency allows us to develop and strengthen new skills and habits that can improve our overall well-being. However, the Stoic view of consistency also involves flexibility, adapting to changing circumstances while staying true to one's core principles. It's not about rigid adherence to plans, but maintaining one's ethical stance no matter the situation. For instance, a Stoic might adjust their approach in a discussion if the initial method proves unproductive, but they will not compromise on their commitment to honesty and respectful dialogue. Trick 15. Social proof. This is a powerful psychological phenomenon that influences our behavior by indicating that others' actions are correct in a given situation. It's the reason we might choose a restaurant that's crowded over one that's empty, or why online reviews can sway our purchasing decisions so strongly. Essentially, social proof leverages the human tendency to conform, providing comfort in numbers and often guiding our decisions more than we might realize. Stoicism teaches us to rely on reason and personal virtue rather than external validation. However, Stoics also recognize the practical aspects of human nature and society. For example, Marcus Aurelius noted the importance of community and the interconnectedness of all people. In this light, social proof does not necessarily have to contradict Stoic principles, provided it is used to enhance individual and collective well-being without compromising one's moral values. In practical terms, social proof can be an effective tool for encouraging positive behaviors. For instance, in public health, showing statistics that large numbers of people are getting vaccinated can motivate more individuals to do the same. Similarly, in environmental conservation efforts, highlighting the growing numbers of people who recycle or reduce waste can encourage others to follow suit. This kind of social proof can be incredibly beneficial in steering societal norms towards more sustainable and ethical practices. However, Stoicism teaches us to question our impulses to follow the crowd. Just because an action is popular does not make it virtuous or wise. Therefore, while social proof can be a helpful indicator of what behaviors are accepted or safe, it should not be the sole determinant of our actions. We should use reason and ethical judgment to evaluate whether the behaviors others are adopting are truly in line with our values and the greater good. Trick 16. Emotional contrast. This is a psychological technique that involves juxtaposing starkly different emotional states to heighten the impact of each. By experiencing contrasting emotions in close succession, each feeling becomes more pronounced, making the overall experience more memorable and engaging. This method is not just a tool for storytellers or marketers. It's a profound way to deepen our understanding of our emotional landscapes and the human condition itself. In the realm of Stoicism, emotional contrast can be seen as a practice in understanding and managing emotions. Stoics believe in experiencing life fully, including its ups and downs, while maintaining a philosophical perspective. They teach that by reflecting on our emotions, both positive and negative, we can develop a greater appreciation for the present and a deeper resilience against the vicissitudes of life. For example, the joy of achieving a goal can feel even more profound if it follows a period of significant challenge or hardship. The contrast between struggle and success not only enhances our appreciation for the achievement, but also strengthens our character and fortitude. Similarly, after experiencing loss or sadness, moments of happiness and connection can become particularly precious, reminding us of the value and impermanence of each experience. However, using emotional contrast wisely requires a balance. Stoicism teaches us not to become overly attached to highs or unduly distressed by lows. Instead, we should observe these emotions with a measured detachment, understanding that they are transient and not fully indicative of our inner peace or moral worth. This Stoic approach helps prevent us from being manipulated by our emotions or external circumstances that seek to exploit these natural human reactions. Trick 17. Uniqueness. This principle holds that by making someone feel unique, or by tailoring approaches to their specific qualities, we can significantly enhance engagement, motivation, and satisfaction. When we acknowledge and celebrate individual differences, we not only affirm the person's worth, but also encourage their full participation and commitment. In the context of Stoicism, uniqueness might initially seem at odds with the philosophy's emphasis on universal virtues and the collective human experience. However, Stoicism deeply values the individual's rational and moral capacities. The philosophy teaches that while we share a common nature, each person's application of reason and virtue is unique. This Stoic acknowledgement of individual paths to wisdom and virtue aligns with the psychological understanding of uniqueness as a tool for engagement. Moreover, in personal relationships, acknowledging and cherishing the unique aspects of those we care about deepens our connections. By celebrating the traits that make each person special, we not only validate their self-worth, but also enrich our shared experiences. This approach is in line with the Stoic practice of mutual respect and support within personal and community relationships. However, the Stoic wisdom also cautions against allowing the celebration of uniqueness to foster ego or detachment from community values. The challenge is to appreciate individual differences while maintaining a commitment to the common good. This balance ensures that in elevating individuals, we do not lose sight of our interconnectedness and shared human dignity. Trick 18. Anticipation. This is a psychological phenomenon that captures the essence of looking forward to an event, experience, or outcome. It builds emotional energy, excitement, and engagement, turning the mere expectation of something into a compelling part of the experience itself. This heightened state of expectation can significantly influence our perception of the awaited event, making it more enjoyable or impactful when it finally occurs. From a Stoic perspective, anticipation must be approached with mindfulness and wisdom. Stoicism teaches us to temper our expectations with a rational understanding of reality to avoid potential disappointments. However, it also recognizes the value of positive anticipation in enhancing life's experiences. Seneca wrote about the balance of hope and fear, advising that while we should be prepared for all outcomes, we can also cherish the joys of positive anticipation. In everyday life, anticipation can be harnessed in various meaningful ways. For instance, in the realm of professional projects or personal goals, the act of looking forward to the completion of a significant task can motivate us to continue working diligently towards it. This kind of forward thinking can sustain our efforts and keep our spirits high, especially during challenging times. In practical terms, managing anticipation involves setting realistic expectations, preparing for various outcomes, and savoring the process rather than just the results. This approach does not diminish the joy of anticipation, but rather enhances it with a deeper, more stable foundation of emotional and psychological readiness. As we continue to explore and apply these timeless psychological tricks enriched by Stoic wisdom, remember that the true journey lies within. Harness these insights not just to navigate life's challenges, but to truly thrive and connect deeply with those around you. Thank you for joining me today at Stoic Journal. Don't forget to watch one of the suggested videos on your screen to dive deeper into the art of living wisely and well. Your journey of growth continues with every step you take, and we are here to walk this path together. Thank you for being part of our community.